Well, hello all my friends and welcome back to Conan Exile's Age of War, and this will be episode 3 of our little mini guide series looking at some of the different factions that you can find throughout Conan Exiles. There are so many, but we've kind of highlighted in the past two videos some of the ones that we think are probably the best and the typical ones that you'll encounter when you wander around the map. So in this episode what I'm going to do is briefly sort of go through some of the tier 4, if you will, people that I would recommend that you kind of look out for when you start your journey in the Exile lands, and then give you my, I suppose, top 4. Well, there is a 5th one that's a bit of a surprise one that most of you will probably be surprised that I've included in there, because I wasn't too sure about this particular one at first, but having done some testing they've kind of made it into the list, so we do kind of have a top 5. But we'll look at those at the moment. So first of all, let's go through the list that we have at the beginning. Okay, so when you start out in the game, apart from the various different NPCs that you'll encounter, there are at various points across the map. So there's a couple around here. There's also one just at this side of this bridge here. One on a small island quite close to Skulker's End. And one just after sort of Chaos Corner, as everybody calls it, with all the crocodiles. And what I'm referring to are one skull bosses that are dressed in light armour typically, or medium, and they will actually potentially drop pieces of medium armour for you. Sometimes you might get 2 pieces, sometimes you might get 1, and who they can be are varying between male and female, and lots of different names, but I've just picked out this particular one because I actually have her on my beginner's guide series at the moment, and I do like her name. But there are quite a few different females, as I say, and some males, and as you can see this one's called Tessa the Blade. And if we take a look at her stats, she comes with 0 in strength, 0 agility, 50 in vitality and 0 grit, and she starts out with 605 health, so not a lot of health, but a pretty decent vitality start. So you could look at her stats there and think that, well, she's got a 79% chance to grow in strength, but she's got a 100% agility, so she's going to go more agility focused. But with the way this is, she's got a decent armor chance. I would potentially feed her some grilled steak to get you plus 14 on your 64 to boost her vitality up a bit and give her more health rather than anything, and maybe some cooked fish that you can do on your campfire if you cook some fish to help with their agility, although with a 100% chance of gaining points in agility she shouldn't need agility boost food because she's going to gain a point in that automatically. But if you want her health as well, I would boost her with grilled steak. I'll show you at the end of this video couple of spots where you can find these people that are mini bosses, but they are friendable, shall we say. Another option is if you go to Sinner's Refuge, which is, let me get my bearings on the map, round about here. Don't think I've actually been to it just yet, which is surprising, but it's round about here, very close to the river. I'll go up there after to show you where that is. There are fighters, archers, crafters, and a guaranteed alchemist and priest spawn, I think it is, at the very back of there. Angar, once again, has also mentioned these in lots of his videos, and Sinner's Refuge is a great place early game to get your crafters from, and also a couple of dancers that can spawn in there, and then the guaranteed named person at the back. But there can also be a fighter, or one of the fighters that can spawn in there is this young lady called Frigga Falsehope. I'm probably butchering that name, but I think that's how you pronounce it. And if we take a look at what she comes with, she has the same again, 0 in strength, 0 agility, 15 vitality, 0 in grit. But she has 100% health growth chance. Her agility and strength are exactly the same. So it depends which way you want to go with her, whether it's agility or strength. Give her either the cooked fish for the agility, or gruel if you want to boost her strength. and her armor's okay, but it's not as high as those two. And again, she comes off the Wheel of Friendship with 605 health. So she is very low health once again. She's part of the Exiles, I believe, but she is the tier 4 version of the Exiles and has a chance, as I say, to spawn in Sinner's Refuge. So yes, I'm going to include it because I've heard a lot of people talk about these. I've also heard other content creators say how, you know, just be wary, and this is very true, be wary, it could be a bug. It might be legit, it may stay the same, chapter 2 it may change, but of course we are referring to the Cannibal Brute, which can be a male and female once again, and they spawn in the summoning place, which is just here. We've been there before in a previous video, but I'll quickly show you again on the map where it is and where you can find them. And believe it or not, having done some testing and some playing around and leveling up with one, I'm surprised to say, yeah, alright, I do actually agree, they are actually pretty good. I couldn't just tell you the damage modifier number off the top of my head, but it is way higher even than Delincium, and loads of people are saying, oh, you don't need Delincium anymore, you just need a Cannibal Brute. Yes, you possibly do, but let's just be mindful that if things change and it is a bug, then they're not going to be as great as you think they are. And also people may not have tested these like up in the Highlands and up in the snow where the enemies hit really hard, but who knows. And anyway, it's people's personal choice. I wasn't so sure at first, however I have tried one out, and as you can see they come with 429 base health, 0 strength, 0 agility, 0 vitality, 15 in grit. And again with this one, it looks like he could level in strength more, possibly vitality, but he's also got a really good high chance of increasing his armor as well. So you would want to, if you're not confident enough to go in the summoning place, which as we've mentioned you can get easily overwhelmed in there, I'll show you again why after. If you're not ready to get one of them yet, maybe get yourself one of the one skull bosses, so the male or the female from off the river, or if you get Frigga or somebody else to spawn at the Sinner's Refuge, get them leveled up, get them in some decent armor, then they should be able to help you go into the summoning place and get yourself a Cannibal Brute, who will, by the looks of their performance and certainly health, do you a lot better than either of these two, although at times they could particularly be on par with them. However, if you get lucky and get a really good one, you could use them, and you could then use them to then help you progress up the map further as you do, and get yourself one of these lovely named people, which again are female and male, the Clora Jabal Sag. And once again they are typically found up here in the den, just north of the unnamed city, and they come with 0 strength, 30 agility, 0 vitality, 15 in grit, and a multitude again of different level up chances. Again, this one has got a really high agility chance, so I'll give them an agility weapon. Pretty good armor increase chances, again because they've already got the numbers in there as well, so that's helpful. But you probably want to give them some stake again to level up the vitality, unless they get a higher growth chance number, then swap it out for one of the others. But kind of really pay attention to these numbers, what their growth chances are, give them the appropriate food, and you'll get the best performance out of them. And then if you get a really good one, again with good armor and good weapons, they can help you progress up towards Seppa Maru, let's say, where you will again find the Relic Hunters, not the Relic Hunter Treasure Seekers, but the Relic Hunter faction, who have various Zamorian, Zingarian, Shamite, a lot of them are Stygian fighters, and this young lady is here. She is only a level 3, so she's not a named person, but if we pay attention to her health, she comes out with 1152, and if we go back to our Clora Jabal Saga, as you can see, 1008, so a bit less health. These will be a bit stronger, and they'll certainly be a lot stronger than your New River people, potentially stronger than your Cannibal Brute, but that's a question mark at the moment, or will be revealed shortly. And once you get one of these, again, male or female, they will then be able to help you get your Relic Hunter Treasure Seeker, which, as we've mentioned, you can get from different spots all around the Unnamed City, and also in the wine cellar in Sepamaru. So they are the main sort of people that you want to be looking out for when you're starting your journey in Conan Exiles, whether you're starting right out at New River, gradually leveling up, getting yourself better weapons and better armour, progressing up with your follower levels, to getting yourself up to that mid sort of game tier, where you get your Relic Hunter Treasure Seeker, which again can be a fighter or an archer, and they can also be male or female. So that pretty much wraps up what are my sort of recommended progression level for climbing your friendship ladder, shall we call it, in Conan Exiles, and the best sort of people or tier of people to aim for when you're looking for followers in Conan Exiles, trolls or friends to help you fight and to protect you. They are sort of the best way really that I would look at going, sort of early to mid game certainly, and then once you reach end game you've got all the extra tier 4 people who are top end game fighters and are just absolutely awesome. So at this point in the video I was going to show you my top 5 and talk through them, but I'm going to be a little bit mean and make you wait a bit longer. Sorry, but yeah, we're going to quickly whiz around the map now, look at the various locations and show you where to get these people that we've looked at from, and then we'll wrap up this series with who I say are my 4/5 recommendations of who you should use. There are probably lots of others and other different favourites that people prefer. People may agree with me on certain ones, they may disagree, but as I say, these are recommendations. This is not set in stone that you have to use these. It's entirely up to you. So let's go and have a look where we find them. So, since we're in this location, I thought we would actually start here. If you remember, this is the summoning place, and if you're after the Cannibal Brute, I do believe they can spawn up that side on the left sometimes, I've heard, but typically you'd have to fight through all of these, go up to the right. Apologies about the weird lighting, it just seems to always go funny in here. Fight through all of these people down here, and then get up here, and then in the middle here behind this sorcerer should be the Cannibal Brute. That's a Defari fighter this time, but I think they typically spawn on this spot here, so you may have to farm it a few times to get them from there, but that's one spot where you can get the Cannibal Brute, and again that can be male or female. Lots of different people in here once again from your Defari faction, and this spot here is your Yogg Priest or your Witch Doctor for your alchemy stations, so your tier 4 crafters, and then your Dancer spawn can be here, and again this can be different people, and you can also get Luba the Luscious, who is a tier 4 Defari Dancer. I believe she can spawn in here as well, I could be wrong on that, but as far as I remember she does spawn here. And there used to be, or still could be, yeah, where this guy is, even though he's laying down, there can I think sometimes be a Cannibal Brute that spawns here, but typically it'll be either this spot or the other spot that I showed you on the opposite side. Right, so this is our next location down here on New River. As you can see, we're kind of just slightly northeast of this little lake, which is where the crocodile boss is, and you'll get 2 or 3 spawns out here, which can be fighters or archers. Sometimes it's a couple of archers and a fighter, or a couple of fighters and an archer. I have seen Frigga False Hope spawn out here before. She can also be a wanderer in here. Apologies about the light, again it's very dark in here. Let me just see if I can up my gamma for you, if that makes any difference. Not a lot, I'm afraid, sorry about that. But yeah, there can be a wanderer here, and she can spawn here, wandering around. But there's a couple of crafters there, so you cook and another crafter, a couple of archers up there, and more people further back in the cave. But we'll come back to them another time. We'll do a separate video of a quick walkthrough here. And then you're back at daylight, and now the name pops up, Sinner's Refuge. So as you can see, we're just right here, as I say, slightly northeast of the crocodile boss, just sort of above the sentinels. Right, so here we are on the river again. We're a bit further down now, just here, and this corner here is what a lot of creators, including myself, call Chaos Corner. Because if we take a look, there was also down here, there was one of the one skull bosses just here. As you can see, he's dead because unfortunately the 2 shellbacks there did actually kill him. That can happen. This is called Chaos Corner because you have a little NPC campfire here with a couple of NPCs. And as you can see, lots of crocodiles. There's 2 there. They're literally, there's 5 or 6 all dotted around. Look at them all. This is always happening here. There's always chaos in that little bit. That's why everybody calls it Chaos Corner. So if we then go across here, excuse all the little bills, this is my server that people play on. Just to excuse all those numbers popping up. But if we drop down here, as we will see, we have a young lady here. And as you can see, one skull boss. But she is totally friendable. If you hit her with a truncheon, you will be able to knock her out. She spawns here. Also, it can be a male. He or she will just wander up and down there a little bit, and just up to sort of these trees here. They don't wander very far at all. There is also another one in this area, I think it is, that can spawn. And also, if you swim under this bridge, follow the rock face up and then turn to your left, just up the little bank in here, before you go back around up to this NPC camp. There's another one that spawns just on the little raised bit there. Again, that can be male or female, and they do have a chance to drop some of this armour for you. They can either give you 1 piece or they might give you 2 pieces. Just looking at me because you're wondering what I'm doing. But yeah, that's what they look like. Even though they say 1 skull boss, perfectly tameable as one of your early game friends. Right, this is our next stop, and this is the den. We are just up here on the map, as you can see. Again, just very slightly north of the unnamed city, and this is Mire's Hope. It's right there, and we're just north of that in this big area. And your fighters and archers can all spawn around here, and any of these, no matter where you go in this camp, it's quite a big camp, so just be wary, but any of the fighters or archers around can all share different spawns, and they can be any of the tier fighters, including the Clove Jabal Sag, male or female, all dotted around so this whole encampment area. So do keep an eye out, because it's quite a large area to cover, and just bear in mind you've got the were hyenas, I think they're called, that wander around, 1 or 2 up here, and you also get the main ones in the centre there, so just be wary of those. There's also a merchant at the back of the scaffolding that you can purchase rock nose eggs from, and I think he's at the very right hand side, far into the camp over here somewhere. You've also got another merchant up on the top who will sell you camels. So we're almost there, we're climbing our ladder a bit more now, and here we are again in Sepamaru on the west side of the map. As you can see, all of this area, and 99% of the people in here are passive, other than a couple of areas that have the bandits, I like to call them, in it. They are hostile, they will attack you, so just be wary of those. There's some, if you go down to that gate, to the left of that gate on the inside and to the right, and also just beyond this gate to the right again where we came in. If you want to know more about those and all of the NPCs that spawn in Sepamaru, then check out my updated Sepamaru guide. I'll leave a link for it at the end of this video, a card for it, so that you can go over and watch that next, so you can learn all about Sepamaru. But just to be brief, we have the various different fighters and archers, tier 1, 2 and 3, some named people in here, and also all your different crafters, and 3 guaranteed tier 3 dancers, Also Conan is here, the princess from Mechamos' Spire is also in here. And you've also got various other spawn points around here where dancers can spawn, and also taskmasters. And there are odd spots where you'll get patrolling fighters who are potentially level 3 that you could knock out and make them become your friend. And you can also get these, like I say, fighter 3, so there we go. And in Separate Mirror, this is typically what a lot of the fighter 3s will look like. They're wearing a slightly different top to all the others, as you can see. The same Relic Hunter gloves and headpiece, and the boots and the legs, but the top is slightly different. Just keep an eye out for them. They're the fighter 3s, and they can be any of the different, typically Zingarian, not Zingarian, sorry, Stygian a lot of the time, but you can get Zingarian, Zamorian, Shammai, all the others, but typically most likely will be a Stygian. And then while we're here, rather than doing a cut and bringing you back again, if we go around here, I'm not going to go inside because we've previously seen them, but if you come around the back of Conan's bar and interact with this door here, so we're just here right at the back of Conan's bar, that will take you into the wine cellar. You can also kill Seth the Drunk, who is your first little mini boss that you'll have to get past, and he has a chance to drop his truncheon, Seth's truncheon, which is arguably, a lot of people would say, the best truncheon in the game. Some people would say Love Tap is better, but you've probably got a higher chance of getting Seth's truncheon. So he's just there. Then just after him there are 2 Relic Hunter spawns, and they can be male or female, fighters or archers. Right, so there we go. That is typically where you can get all our different people from as you're climbing your friendship ladder, shall we say. And if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations, and thank you for sticking with us. And don't worry, you don't need to hold your excitement any longer, or your frustrations, if there be frustrations. We're now at the exciting part of the video where I'm going to reveal to you one of my top 4/5 NPCs to have in the game. And the way I'd set these out, I was going to start on the left, which you can probably already tell who it is by what they're wearing, but you know what, I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to do this the opposite way around, just because I can. So, one of mine on the list, a fan favourite of a lot of people. I don't particularly use him, just because I like to have female followers, because I play a female character and enjoy having a full female clan or squad or whatever you want to call us. But Leon is really good, and as we previously mentioned, he spawns up at Leon's Watch, and he's a guaranteed spawn. He is a tier 4 named fighter, part of the Heirs of the North. That's his stats again quickly, just there so that you can see. I'm not going to read through them all again because we've previously done that, but as you can see there, that's what he looks like. And then also somebody else who kind of belongs to the same area as him, another Heir of the North, is Miss Freya. Now this is a fan favourite of mine, really good. Even though she's an archer, as we previously said, she comes with base points in strength, and she can be a really cool strength fighter with the right weapon and the right armour. She's up there in my opinion with Dina Master Huntress even. She's another archer that can also be a really good fighter, and they're both kind of in that same spot as Delincia and Leon and the Sumerian Berserkers. In my opinion, they deserve a place with them as well. So she again is part of the Heirs of the North, and just for reference, she spawns over here at Freya's Hovel. If you'd like to know a bit more about them, there are 2 videos on the channel. One is all about Freya and what her secret is, which we've kind of already told you in this video what that is, but we also have another video called Freya's Friends that will introduce you to Dina Master Huntress, who we've mentioned, and Leon over here. I'll leave a card for that at the end of this video so that you can check that out. And another fan favourite of probably 99% of the players, if not everybody in the game, who you should always aim for, again in male and female, the Cimmerian Berserker. Now if you can get good vitality and strength chances that you can boost with Gruul, Look at what they already come with their bonuses and everything. These are really good people to have at the end of the game, whether you're running a solo follower with the plus 20 or war party. I am not kidding you. 2 berserkers in war party, absolutely hilarious fun. Or a berserker, and of course our next young lady that I haven't forgotten who is, I've got to admit, my ultimate favourite. I know other people like her as well. Some people say nah, they never bother with her, but give me a Delincia Snow Hunter any day. Pair her up with a berserker, or have 2 berserkers, or why not have 2 Delincias, and you'll be absolutely, with the right weapons and the right armour, you'll be dominating the map and having a blast. Trust me. Excuse me. So that is your Sumerian Berserker, and as I've just mentioned, my fan favourite, big favourite, is Delincia Snow Hunter. She has all different levelling chances again, but she comes with the same as all the others, the 15 in the strength and the 30 in the vitality, and comes out with a great base health. And she also got a decent boost to her melee damage modifier in the previous Age of War update. And I'll be honest with you, in Age of Sorcery, if you've seen my setups, the way I run my followers, she was already hitting hard before, and she hits just as hard, or if not even harder still now. So I'd never ever trade her for anybody else. Cannot recommend Delincia enough. Or if you don't do female or you don't like Delincia, grab yourself a Leon. He's just as good. Or why not go crazy? Have a Leon and a Delincia. Pair them up together. Might be an interesting duo. So that is my main 4. Now yeah, I did say potentially 5, didn't I? And I said 5 because there's actually one here that I'm surprised that I'm including. But having heard a lot about it, pluses and negatives, I've done a bit of testing, as I say, and I've leveled one up, put them in the same gear setup that everybody else has, and they've surprisingly leveled up quite well and do actually hit quite hard. Yes, I am talking about the Cannibal Brute. So I've got this young lady here, although she looks like she's in the Defari outfit. If I open her inventory, you can see on the right there, she's actually wearing my usual follower setup, the Redeemed Legion, with the Void Forge, the Godbreaker, the Champions and the Hyperborean. Didn't put any bulk plating on it while I was leveling her just to test stuff out. And to be quite honest, she was losing very little health against most of the enemies that she was fighting, so if I put the bulk plating on her now, she's probably going to have even more armour and just be ridiculously strong because she leveled with these particular attributes. As you can see there, she got a 57% strength boost, a very respectable health bonus of 3,399. Obviously she's getting a plus 14 to her vitality at the minute because of the food she's eating, but with her boost that she got with the level ups, she got a plus 30 to her vitality and a plus 3 to her strength. And again, if I give her the Black Lotus potion and the pork, that's another 30%, so 77% damage. She already hits like a truck now. Give her that boost, she'll hit even harder still. So yes, although I wasn't sure, I do agree. Don't know how long she's going to live or how well she's going to do against a New Azagoth or the Giants or anybody like that, or the Sabertooths up in the snow. We'll have to test that. But for those who say the Cannibal Brute is amazing, absolutely right. The Cannibal Brute is awesome. So worth trying out, especially at early to mid game. If you can get them leveled like that with decent vitality and decent strength or agility, even if they level that way, I could safely say you're going to be onto a winner. It's not somebody I would always keep or always use. I certainly wouldn't have a base full of them. So if she does get killed at some point, I won't be looking at replacing them. But for what I've seen and what I've found out, definitely intriguing, definitely worth you having a look at. So that is just about it then, guys. That is going to wrap up this little mini series, taking a look at some of the different tribes in Conan Exiles and the people you can get. And I just thought I'd finish this out standing next to my favourite. Some people might disagree, but she'll always be my favourite. She always has been since I've been playing. Absolutely brilliant. Two of them together, what a blast. Anyway, I hope you found this series helpful. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, let's try and get another 50 likes on this video again. Leave your questions, leave your comments down below. Why not at this point consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and until I see you on a future live stream or in the next video, we shall say goodbye. Alright then, my friends. Bye bye for now.